looked okay at the beginning. I was in an okay spot. My pace at the start I didn't think was strong, but I was getting stronger. And then I took a badly timed attack, which was my own call, so my own fault there. And I put myself way back in the jungle, let's say. Actually did some good moves, got in front of the Porsches, got a McLaren, come back through, and then got a gap, took my second attack, and I was in the race again. I was top 5, but passing Bird, I took off my front wing. I completely misjudged the gap in front, my fault, and it made my race really difficult as I went back to 17th. So yeah, nice to come back to 5th, but yeah, made a mistake. I didn't expect it to be 5th, but I knew that top 10 was possible. You never know with Formary. I saw on my dash that there were 22 laps remaining. I was 17th. I wasn't in a advantageous energy position, so I had to do something to gain some energy, but to also move forward. So it wasn't easy, but pretty happy with the outcome considering that. If you gave me 5th before the weekend, I would have taken it. I've never scored points here. Didn't expect to be strong. So great work by the team. It's not a track for me, so I was quite happy with 5th.
Yeah, so I think that the start of the race wasn't that bad. We had obviously used a little bit more energy to find ourselves like in the first group. But I would say that the situation was kind of like still a little bit under control. For sure, there were guys with more energy, but I was hoping on the second part of the race, to have the possibility to go with them and try to save more, on the second part. In the first part of the race, I must say that I was pretty happy, with the balance of the car, and the balance kind of like went away a little bit for me on the second part, which made us go a little bit slower, and unfortunately we were struggling more at the end. Yeah, we will try to improve basically the car, so in terms of like mechanical setup and also I guess software settings. Still good, to get to the end of this race because the last races weren't that great for me. So if we're able, to learn and improve for tomorrow, that would be great. I mean, obviously, I would say that at the beginning of the race, also the guys were kind of like letting me by, so it was still enjoyable and kind of like reminded me, last year, but. But I guess that we need to improve, and then hopefully, we'll have stronger races. For sure. I mean, congrats to him. Like, he did a fantastic job. The first, podium, for the team. I think that it's, it's good, for the atmosphere, and it's going to bring motivation to the guys. I think that they needed it, and so that's great.
I can really go to sleep well when I make a mistake myself, and because I have only myself to blame. But when you're doing a solid job, a faultless race, and then somebody else, takes you out like that, it sucks. I apologize, which I respect, but still took 12 or 14 points away from me today, and which would have virtually been second in a championship. And for me, if I look 2 months ago where I was not being able to score points, and whatever, it is what it is. We wake up again tomorrow and go again a day at a time now. A few learnings from the poor qualifying we've had. Try and do a step there. I think we've done already a step for the race. The car felt pretty good. It looks like it's going to be a bit colder, maybe some rain tomorrow, so we stay active and proactive and try and cope with all the conditions. It was insane, obviously a lot of things going on, a lot of cars very, very close together, a racetrack that bunches things up a lot of times, and you have to stay alert, you have to stay awake, and I have the feeling that not everyone does that very, very well, and there's a lot of unnecessary contact going on. So another reason to be happy with what I did today. I barely touched anything and managed to pass 14 cars, I think. And we just have to stay alert. Like, it is obvious if there is a couple of cars in front fighting, I know the corner is going to be slower for us. It's like traffic, and just need to look in front sometimes, and whatever.
Yeah, I mean, even between qualifying and the race, like even quali, I was not super strong, to be honest. I found even practice sessions are quite tricky to put a lap together and feel comfortable compared to the other Jaguars. But yeah, we made some good steps between quality and the race, and obviously worked. The car felt really strong in the race, the best car I've had here by far. And yeah, just to navigate through the traffic was really tough today. But yeah, Sao Paulo was a good was good practice for that. But yeah, just super happy for the team. 1-2 back-to-back victories. Life's good. Yeah, just to not get caught out by the concertina in front of you, and then also guys behind you not getting caught out with you slowing up, cars going everywhere. It was hard to manage. So sometimes I thought maybe my front wing was going to be damaged, but yeah, luckily maybe I had a bit of luck today, and I just was able to sneak through at the right time and yeah, get it done. Yeah, it wasn't as extreme maybe as Sao Paulo, but definitely the same. Yeah, this is the way that this car has really changed things, and how the dynamic of the races have changed is quite crazy, to be honest. So I got into lead with like I think 17, 18 laps to go, and it was too early, which is crazy. So yeah, I think maybe something has to change for that, but yeah, I was just trying to play it smart, and the team guided me well through that. And at the end with Sam and Seb, it was all fair. Just had to make sure I had the green light to be able to attack Sam, and yeah, I felt like I had good car pace at the end, and fortunately had enough to get myself to yeah, a bit of a gap, and then just bring it home. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, we've been working really well since he joined the team. It's been great this year. Off the back of his quite tricky year last year, he's been really strong. His time will come this year for sure. But he's a team player, and so am I. And you know, like I wanted to make sure I had the green light to pass him, and because I'm not sure what the team's thinking as well, and how he's feeling the car. But overall, it was very fair, the way it should be. But it's not always like that with between teammates. And yeah, he had a great race. It could have been his today as well. But yeah, as I said, his day will come. Yeah, a bit different to how we've experienced in the past, over one lap, but also for the race duration. But it's the best I've felt here, to be honest, in the race. So I guess I can only say good things.
Yeah, it was a positive race. Obviously, we are coming here to win or to be on a podium. But I would say the race was yeah, a bit damage limitation, spot some good points. But you know, we want to be competitive on every race and every weekend. And today, I just feel like in qualifying we're missing a bit of pace, and now we will look into data and hopefully make a step forward in qualifying, because then we know that the race pace is good, and there should be more possible. There was always action, and I couldn't point out which one was where was the most action. Well, improve the car for qualifying. If you start somewhere around the top 6, top 8, I think you can fight for the race win, and yeah, that's the goal for tomorrow.
I think it's maybe not as, I maybe don't deserve quite as much merit as it looks on TV, because I think a lot of people don't want to lead. Everyone was going so slow. I thought, you know, I'll just take the lead for a bit, whatever. Yeah, it was a funny start, to be honest, but the launch was very good. I did get the jump on a lot of people around me. I was then massively under-consuming for 5 or 6 laps. I mean, the race pace at that point was almost laughable compared to qualifying, how much we were all under-consuming, but they're obviously under-consuming even more than me. But I did all right after sort of 7-8 laps. Most cars who were going to overtake me had sort of 2% more. There were some cars that were similar-ish to me. And then I dropped back a little bit, sort of P6, P7. I thought, you're right, now I can start using a bit more energy, and I thought that was a realistic place, because there's no point in me fighting cars that are just going to, you know, pass me and piss off. I've got to be realistic with you know, where I can finish. I thought where I was after a few laps, sort of 7th, was about right. So I started to use a bit more energy, and literally the following lap I had the incident with Van Dorn. So a bit of a shame. Who knows if I would have stayed in the points. You know, our efficiency, I'm fed up of sort of, you know, covering up. It's just so dreadful. You know, our hands are tied, and everyone at the track here is doing the best job they can, and it's not their fault, and it looks bad on them, but it's not them. You know, it's just the hardware that we have at the moment is just not good enough. So, you know, no matter how hard we work, no matter how good the car is mechanically or good on one lap, we're always struggling, you know, in the races. So it's quite. I'm losing a bit of patience, to be honest, with it all. I mean, it's good for the team to have pace, but there's no point in having pace if you can't convert it into points. It's just a waste of everyone's time, to be honest. So, you know, we just need to sort that out. I almost think, in many ways, a lot of these races, until we have sorted out the efficiency, are basically test days, because, you know, like in the races, it has to be quite a special race for us to score points. You know, you have to have a lot of DNFs, it has to be quite scrappy, you know, and everything sort of has to really go our way, even if I'm starting up at P3, P4. But, you know, I think to stay in the points today, irrespective, would have been tough. Yeah, I think it leans towards a racing incident when you look at the onboard. I think there's arguments to and against, but, you know, normally that results in it's a racing incident. If it's more quite obviously one-sided, then, you know, like the thing with me and Jake a couple of weeks ago, that's fair enough. I deserved a penalty for that. You know, I can't be angry about that one. But, you know, this one today, I think he put himself in quite a vulnerable position. Everyone's all over the place. You know, Costa hit Wehrlein and then backed up into me, and then I had a bit of contact. I was just way offline on the inside going into the right. So, you know, I couldn't really do much, to be honest. I didn't actually know it was a car there. I gave him a bit of space. Yeah, you see just loads of people giving their opinions online. They just all know nothing. So I'm not going to have a rant about social media and its wrongs, but yeah, people just a lot of them can just do one, to be honest.